Hey everybody, I'm Billbraid, and this is my tutorial on the basic movement of Jack and Daxter speedrunning. I kind of wanted to make this tutorial for people who wanted to start out. That way they could just use highlights and people they want to learn off of and not have a big tutorial, you know. So you could just watch this and then you'll know everything and can just watch a video to learn off of it. It's gonna range from really basic stuff, like just how to move around in this game, all the moves Jack has and combos and stuff, to like some of the more advanced stuff like uppercut boosting, the boosted uppercuts, and extended uppercuts and all that good stuff. So the first thing I want to cover is just the basics of movement. The roll jump, which is generally, you know, considered the fastest way to move around. It's which you just want to be doing most of the time in the run, is roll jumping everywhere. There's also punching, which is good for if you have less space, or you can use it as a way to space better than just roll jumping everywhere. Because if you have a distance like from here to the portal, you're gonna go too far. So you could use like a punch. So a punch generally goes about half the distance that a roll jump does. So you can keep that in mind. Also, there's the uppercut, which is square and then X. This one is a bit tricky because there's a lot of stuff you could do with the uppercut. You could do a long punch, like holding square. A lot of people don't really know that, they just tap square. That puts you at makes you have like a really small punch, which is actually kind of slow, but you could use it for spacing. Sometimes I use it. You could also just roll. Rolling's good if you have like yellow eco because you can't punch. So yeah, that's like the basics. I'll kind of just explain a bit more about the basics. So like, you could use like a roll jump to high jump off of higher planes or whatever. Yeah, so that's like the basics of the movement. You know, high jumps, uppercuts. You could also hold X after you ground pound to get like a lot of height. It's the same height as a high jump. So yeah, that's the basics of movement. The next thing I wanted to go over was just the swimming. A lot of people ask about this. So Jack's swimming animation starts fast and then ends slow and drifts. So what you can do from here is you could just stop. You see how he kind of like still keeps the speed. You just keep tapping because that's when he's fastest. So this is kind of the fastest rhythm. You could kind of like practice your rhythm with the lurker shark. You can actually swim past where you're supposed to go if you have like perfect swimming. So yeah, you could like practice that. Also, if you have blue eco, I think I can show that over here. Hold on. But yeah, the swimming in this game, you can jump out of the water, which will give you the speed from the blue eco. There's a few things you could do with the blue eco in the water. So you could just jump, and you pick up speed like this. What you could also do is when you have blue eco, you can... I double tap X right when I see Jack hit the water. It's kind of hard to do, but you could do these skips. And it's by far the fastest way to move around, but this is only with blue eco. So if you don't have any, you just use this. It's kind of the fast swimming technique in this game. See, that was swimming. I kind of skipped over that one in my little thing. So timing your jumps. I put this here just because this is really important when it comes to a lot of more of the advanced stuff, like extended uppercutting and boosted uppercuts and all that. So in this game, the ledges work kind of weird. You go run off. Basically, a mistimed jump would be like right here. So that'd be like right here when you jump. But in this game, when you run off ledges, you actually have a bit of time to just jump. So you can see I was actually off the ledge there. But a good way to show this is to just use goggles. See how I like fell? I went into the goggles and I'm not actually on the ledge. That's how you want to time your jumps or uppercuts or anything off ledges. I just thought I'd throw that in there just because a lot of people don't understand why their uppercuts aren't getting much distance off of a ledge, and it's just because some people don't time it right at first, and it just takes a little bit of time to get used to. So yeah, punching and uppercutting, that's just, you can, how do I explain this? Like, you could time it differently. Like, if you time it fast, you're not going to bonk as quick, like that. But if you time it too late, you're going to bonk. So I thought I'd include that in there too. You could also use the, like, later. I should explain when I do the uppercut boosts. I'll explain it in Volcanic Crater, where we use it in the run. You just tap square, like you do those short punch that I was showing earlier to get the uppercut boost. So that's a little thing that some people might not know about uppercutting, is you could time it early and you could time it late. I'd recommend practicing both. The early timing, where you just tap square and then X, but you should also practice uppercutting as late as you can after holding square. So you're going to hold square and then tap X as far as you can go, like this. This will help you with your extendeds. Just like that, and you sometimes will get those, but that's the timing you want for extendeds. So roll jumping and high jumping, that is another basic thing that you just need to practice, just timing, especially when you're going from a high ledge to like the ground. It's kind of hard to time at first. Same thing with higher planes like that. It can be kind of tricky. So you just want to practice that a little bit, just so you don't ever mess up your roll jumping and high jumping. So the next point I'm going to cover is goggles. I could just show that off here, but I showed it off earlier where you run off an edge and you go into goggles. This will put you in like a standing state when you take it away, so you could like do another jump off the edge, like out of the air. And if you double tap triangle in like a certain rhythm, you can actually you can airwalk, which is the next point, zoom walking, but I'll explain this. There's a few things you could do with the goggles that's kind of interesting. So yeah, zoom walking looks just like this, and it's just double tapping. You just gotta practice the rhythm. It's like this. Okay, so that's zoom walking. Pretty simple. We rarely use it. There's a few spots where it's kind of nice. Like in 100%, there's a good spot you can use the zoom walk. So basically, what else you could do with the goggles is you could basically cancel this damage animation Jack gets from falling. And you do that by double tapping triangle. So it looks like this. You'll be in your damage animation, you'll double tap, and you could cancel it. Just be careful not to, like, I don't know, I always screw it up by trying to time it too early, and I'll like hit triangle before I hit the ground, and then when I hit triangle the second time it goes into goggles, and it's kind of annoying. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go somewhere else to explain extended uppercuts to everybody. I'm gonna go to Volcanic Crater. I just hope that this will help people. I don't know, it seems like I'm going through stuff really fast, so it might be confusing people, but that was just the basics. Now I'm going to be going over a lot more of the hard stuff in depth. So we're going to go into extended uppercuts. Basically the way extended uppercutting works, at least I think, is the game has like a predetermined height for your spin to go. It puts you at like a certain height predetermined as you jump. So I'll explain using this bridge. So let's say I do an uppercut like this. See, I almost went over the ropes. It's just like I'm just above the planks. So the way an extended uppercut works, all it is just, you don't get like some special height boost or anything. You just go a further distance and then get that height that you normally would have gotten over there, but just in a different spot. So it's going to be somewhere like over here. I'm not actually going to go over, I'm just going to gain more distance. So what I'm doing is I'm walking off the ledge and doing that late uppercut timing that I did earlier. And that's all it is. This is just running off the edge, uppercutting, and then timing it late. See, as you can see, I didn't make it over the rope, which is what I normally would have went with a regular uppercut. It just thinks you should be at that height, I guess, and it like puts you there. It shoots you up. Yeah, but some things people might be doing wrong with extended uppercuts is they might be doing the uppercut too fast. You want to be doing, like I said earlier, the latest jump you can possibly do in your uppercut animation. Just don't do it too late. Like, just like even a decent, like, even like a medium length uppercut will do it in most cases, as long as you time it as you're running off the edge, just like that. I didn't even delay it that much. You can get like, you can go really low, like there. So yeah, that's extended uppercutting. We use it sometimes in the run. It's not usually too hard to do. Some extended uppercuts are ridiculously hard to do. Like there's one in Snowy. It's not in the road anymore. That was really hard, but other than that, you know, an extended uppercut is just going a further distance with an uppercut, pretty much. You could also use it here to get underneath here. You just kind of go up and under the bridge. That's kind of an important one to learn. So you can also do a extended out of a zoom walk, I should probably mention. You could do like anything out of a zoom walk. So yeah, you can use that in Sentinel Beach in 100%. Instead of doing the second boosted, you could do 3 zoom walks and then a boost, or an extended. So yeah, and the next point I'm going to cover is boosted uppercuts. This one is a bit trickier because there's a few methods you could do to actually get the boost. So basically what this one is that initially we just knew about backwards boosting, which is just when you like, let's see if I can get one. It usually happens on this bridge. Well, basically, it's just, you just get a boost that you can't really control, and that's the same thing with the forward boost. So we call them boosted extendeds because they're really useful. You could cross really large gaps. This one you could cross with a roll jump, but you can also cross it with a boosted extended, so I'll show it off here. Now there's multiple methods. The first one I'll explain is the simpler one and easier to learn. Basically, you'll tilt your analog stick to the point where Jack just moves, like no more, no less. That's the most reliable way to get it to work, and then just walk off, and then just do, like I said earlier, the quick uppercut. And as you're walking off and falling, you just do that, and then you'll be able to make some pretty crazy gaps. So yeah, that's the easier way. The harder way, which is, I guess, could technically be faster. It's really hard. I don't think this ledge works too well to show it off. But yeah, basically you just line up with the edge. You want to see Jack's feet pointing downwards for this one. But yeah, like I said, this one could potentially be faster, but it's kind of hard. I don't know, it's only for I guess people who just prefer that way, I don't know. Most people use the walking method, so that's the one I'd probably recommend people doing, even though the other way's a bit faster. Another way you could do it is by, once your spacing gets really good, you can just try to land just on an edge, and as you're roll jumping, you hold the control stick in the way you make Jack walk. Like, it's kind of tricky. This would like be technically the fastest way, just like that, but that's really hard. You could also land just on the edge and just land and do a boosted. It looks pretty crazy, but it's really hard to do. Actually, I'm going to go back to the place that I think you guys should practice this, and I'll show off the next point, which is Uppercut Boosts in Hub 1 in Forbidden Jungle. So yeah, the place I think you should practice is over here in Sentinel Beach. So yeah, the thing you really want to focus on is just getting that walk down, and then this is actually pretty easy. And some things you could be doing wrong, or maybe what I used to do is push the stick back too early, back forward, so I'd lose the boost. But yeah, this gap is perfect because you won't get a ledge grab unless you do a really good. So you can't get a ledge grab here, just like that. You normally won't. You can, but you most likely won't, so it forces you to get boosted perfectly. Just like that. Oh, another thing I completely forgot to mention. When you do extendeds, to get the maximum distance, you want to time the timing you push circle to as late as you can. I use like a visual cue for it. I use when Jack's facing the camera. Like when I can see his face, I push circle. So yeah, that might be one thing that you might be doing wrong. You really can't. It's hard to time too early, but it is easy to time too late. That's the way I always looked at it. So yeah, you just want to be running off the edge for both of those. That's very important. That's like a very important part of this game. So I'm going to go over uppercut boosts, and while I go there, I'll just explain why it's useful. It's useful for a few reasons. One reason is the new skip. It really helps out with that. It also can be used in a few spots. Mostly just, it just looks cool, so it's like kind of fun to do. You can use it as a backup here in FJ in 100%. If you miss this jump over here, I'll just show it off. This jump you'd normally do with a boosted or with a roll jump spin. I'd recommend doing it with a roll jump if you're doing 100%, or no, sorry, with a boosted, not a roll jump. So you're gonna just, let's say you're just trying to do the boosted and you screw up or something like that. You just come over here, and now the way the uppercut boost works is you'll have a ledge that's it's kind of janky, I guess. Like, see, if I jump into it, you see how he kind of like lands, but it's not actually flat. It's like a vertical spot you could land on. You just uppercut into it, and the uppercut cancels, and you keep that vertical momentum Jack has and get launched into the air. But what's important about this is it puts him in a standing state. As you can see when I kick, I'm doing the standing kick. And you can actually goggle out of it from that standing state, and you could double jump up onto the bridge and go back over. That's like faster than going all the way around back up onto the bridge. You could also do some crazy stuff with it. I don't know. It feels like there's not too many spots in this game that work for uppercut boosting, but this is a pretty cool one. They're also really finicky. Like, I think it's just they're so specifically timed. Yeah, you can make it up there like that. Well, this is kind of like weird because I'm thinking of all the stuff I should be mentioning. With a boosted uppercut, I was always told that you have to time it as quick as you can, but it's not really true. You could like do like a really late one and get a pretty big boost. I think it's... So yeah, you could hold square and push X just like a extended and still get like a boost. Might not be as big, but yeah, so I think I'll just go and explain where this is useful. The uppercut boosts, and I'll explain how to get it. You have to get used to the specific spots and angles and timing of the uppercut you need to do. Like, for most, you just need to do a quick uppercut. But yeah, you come over here to lava tube. I'm not going to go into details about this, but the first part of the skip involves getting an uppercut boost off these tracks, and you basically just I stand like right on these two spots, and then I do like a quick uppercut, maybe like a bit ahead, like that, and I just time it really quick. You gotta be careful not to bonk on these. But yeah, that covers uppercut boosts. Actually, no, there's something else I should explain. Like, there's other ways of getting this boost, and you can actually do it by timing an uppercut when a cutscene activates or when Jack's momentum gets kind of like cut off, I guess. The game just kind of puts him standing still, like forced. And one way you could do that is with a portal. His body just kind of like that. You see that? Kind of forces him to stop. So you can use a crouching uppercut to, if you time it right, you could actually get a boost from this, and you could actually goggle after this, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, what's the next point I got is quad jumping. So quad jumping is used with yellow eco. It's used in a few spots in the run. I'm gonna explain it in Spider Cave. Basically, you will double jump or high jump, and you'll shoot yellow eco, which will give you essentially another double jump, I guess you could think of it as. So you can get really high up. You use it in Boggy, and in Spider Cave too. I think that's the only places you use it, really. But yeah, it's a really useful trick that helps you skip some stuff in this game. I'll just explain it up here with this yellow eco vent. So basically, what you're gonna do to do this trick is, depending on what you want, like in the other area, you're gonna be doing high jump to a shot to a spin. So yeah, you're just using like that yellow eco animation to give you more height. But you use it at the end here to reach that platform. So what you do is you will wait, and you gotta time it right. You gotta time it as it's coming down. So like right now, you're gonna double jump, shoot, and then grab the cell. So that's quad jumping, pretty simple. Could look kind of confusing to somebody who hasn't done it before. So I'm gonna explain Flutt Flutt now, real quick. I was contemplating doing a small yellow switch skip tutorial in this, but I figure I'm just gonna show how to get Flutt Flutt out, and then I'll show some stuff with Flutt Flutt, a few tricks, and maybe if maybe in the future I'll make a yellow switch skip tutorial. It's like a really tricky glitch you do with Flutt Flutt. It's not really a glitch, but you can use it to skip a platforming section. But yeah, Flutt Flutt normally is supposed to be used only in one area in this level, but because you can break Flutt Flutt out of its like intended area, you can take it around with you, and it makes this level really fast. You could actually take it down back to Volcanic Crater, but it'll crash the game. So you're just going to use Flutt Flutt. This jump is a lot easier if you just time it from the launch area. Okay, so what you're going to do on Flutt Flutt is ground pound into the wall, and then just mash X. Like that. And then just spin around and get back in bounds. This is kind of tricky at first, but once you get it a few times, it's really easy. Basically, you just get a feel for where that invisible wall is, and you just jump around it. So I'm going to try to get stuck here. See, if you do that, and you just pop back in, that means you timed it too early, turning back around to get back in. But yeah, once you break Flutt Flutt out, this level becomes way faster, so I figured I'd show that. And also I'm going to explain some ice physics on and off Flutt Flutt. There's a few sections. I'll come down here just to show the worst of the ice physics section, which is over here. But yeah, the ice is slippery. You can use it to get a big boost on Flutt Flutt by ground pounding, and you just go really fast. But basically the way this works, I'm just going to get rid of the enemies, is if you ground pound and then release the stick to neutral, you'll just bounce and go nowhere. But if you even hold it any way, you'll slide. So you can use it to basically control yourself on the ice a lot easier and get these switches because they're in both any percent and 100%. So I figured I'd explain that. See, that's how ice works. So yeah, Flutt Flutt's kind of interesting because you can bounce off certain surfaces and walls by ground pounding into them and mashing X. I guess I'll explain this real quick since I'm here. I guess you're gonna use the bouncing physics off that wall with the glowing crystal things on them. You're gonna jump. I aim for the precursor artifact thing, and then turn 45 degrees in, ground pound, and then I mash, and then I hold away right when I see myself bouncing, just like that. It's really a hard trick, but maybe I'll make a video on it in the future. So yeah, I think that covers about everything. Also, Jack on this ice, the fastest way to move is to roll jump and like high jump and spin. You move like really quick. So yeah, I think that covers about everything. So yeah, if anybody has any more questions, you could feel free to just leave a comment on the YouTube video or PM me on my Twitch, which is just twitch.tv/BillBraid. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See ya.